Life is going to hit you hard. Sometimes it feels like one thing after the other, whether that's pressure, pain, doubt, heartbreak, failure, you name it. And then you start to believe the lie that you can't handle it. Yes, that's a lie. But today, I'm here to tell you the truth. You are stronger than your problems, every single one of them. The first thing I want to talk about is normalizing the struggle. Everyone is going through something, especially young men and just men in general. But let's be honest, everyone has their struggles. Everyone is going through some sort of problem, some sort of hardship that they're going throughout life. That is what life is. Whether, pressure to succeed, be strong, hold it all in. That's what a lot of men, young men, deal with in that types of regard. And it's important to know that you're not soft for having these problems or for dealing with these types of struggle, because you're being real for admitting it. And there's nothing wrong with admitting that you are struggling. Pain doesn't mean that you're weak. It means that you're in a fight, and fighters build strength. When you go to work out, you're building strength. And that's what problems in life, any type of hardship, struggle, pain, all these things, doubt, it's okay. You should want these things, because that's the only way you're going to improve in life. That's when change happens. That's when you realize that you push yourself to these limits, to these levels that you didn't even know that you were capable of doing. So that's what pain actually does. Pain is a teacher. Pressure builds diamonds, as they say. Resistance builds muscle. I don't know if you ever heard of that, but it's the truth. Like, as I mentioned earlier, the resistance, it builds strength. Fighters build strength. And the problem in front of you, it's not your wall. You can look at it as a workout for those of you who might work out, or maybe some of you that are avid gamers. Just look at it as it's a tough level that you're trying to finish, a tough level that you're trying to compete. Whether it's you're ranking up your character, or that's getting past this boss, this specific level in a game. Anything, you can apply this to whatever you do in life. Try and apply it to what you enjoy doing. That way you can look at it as a different type of challenge. And you grow every time you don't give up. That's the truth. You don't lose. You don't fail until you actually give up, right? The game, if you're playing a video game and you're stuck on this level trying to beat this boss, you're learning things as you're going along. Oh, this damage doesn't do enough, or if you hit him from this way, this does more damage. You use this weapon, this gun, this does this. You're not losing, right? It's stressful. You're trying to figure this out, but you're learning as you're going. So it's very important to shift the perspective. So instead of saying, why is this happening to me? Say, what is this building for me? What is this? What is my future self going to look like from me taking on these challenges and growing from them and learning from them? Because that's why I say it's a part of life. It's the struggle, challenges, pain. That's what builds you. If you look back in your life, out of all the bad things that have happened to you, all like the struggle that you've went through, you've got through them, right? You're here today, and you've learned. You learned the lessons that you got from those tough times, those hardships, and now you apply them in your everyday life. And you wouldn't have learned that without going through those tough times. So life is not always fair, but it's, in a way, it's training you. And that's why it's super important to face your struggles and face these hard times head on. Your problems don't define you. Your response does. So just because you're struggling with something, maybe you're picking up on a new skill that you're trying to learn, and you're not, of course, no one's good at something when they just first start doing it. That doesn't mean that you're bad or you're stupid. No, it's your response. It's how you take that. Do you, get back up after you fail at something and you keep going for it? You take what you learned and you try it again? Or do you just, as soon as time gets hard, you give up and you just walk away? You're never going to learn that way. You're never going to accomplish things by doing that. Because what strength looks like, strength isn't about never crying or always having all the answers, because nobody does. No one has all the answers. Even if you think, or someone might look like they have all the answers, they don't. Especially early on in their journey, whatever they're trying to do. And it's okay to not know everything. Strength is just more about showing up when you don't feel like it. I go to work every day. Do I feel like going to work? No. I wake up and I don't want to go most days. There's maybe a day where I might feel like okay to go. I'm like, all right, but no. And that's with anything in life, whether that's school, a job, a business, anything. You're not always going to have the motivation to do things. I'm sure you guys know this feeling, but it's like when you first start doing something, you get like this like dopamine rush, and it's really exciting to go and do it every day. Every time you wake up, that's what you're thinking about. You can't wait to do it. You can't, you're happy. You're just looking forward to doing that. But then something happens, maybe, you run into a tough task or a tough challenge at whatever you're doing, or maybe you have to miss a day for whatever reason, and then it's like, it starts to unravel, and then it's like, I'll do this, and you start making excuses in your head on why you can't do it today, or, whatever you're trying to push to the side, you're pushing it to your future self. And it's about discipline. It's not always about motivation. It's choosing the discipline when you want to quit, because you can't rely on motivation all the time. You need to build that discipline, and the discipline comes from showing up when you don't feel like it. It's pushing through the fear, the doubt, failure, and still betting on yourself. That's the biggest investment you can make, is yourself. So it's extremely important to not let the pain stop you. Let it shape you. Let it mold you into the person that you want to become, the man that you want to become. You don't have to have it all figured out to keep going. Just because you run into a tough task or a tough challenge and you don't know the answer right away, that's okay. That's when you have to use your brain and learn something new and find the answer. Find what you need to do. You're built for more. Humans, we're built to last. One day it's not going to break you. It'll become part of your story. You'll always look back. Everyone has a story. Everyone watching this video has a story, right? We've all have gone through tough things. So for you to think that you can't do it again is wrong. You can do it. It's a lie to believe that you can't do it again. Whatever that tough thing that you're facing right now, you are stronger than, and you will be able to get through it. So I think that's everything I wanted to talk about in this video. If this hits home for you, please drop a comment. Let me know your feedback. Drop the comment down below what you're struggling with right now. Please leave it down below. Share it with someone that might be going through something as well. You're not alone. You're not weak. You're built stronger than you think. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you in the next one. Peace.